Kanye West took the homeless nobody Jacquees Webster and gave him the opportunity to make a name for himself, becoming one of rap's most iconic mentor-protégé duos. With Ye's early cosign and guidance, Travis was able to become one of the biggest artists in the world. However, their relationship wasn't all sunshines and rainbows. Whether it be Travis featuring one of Ye's biggest enemies on his album, or Travis completely abandoning Ye after his crazy controversial rants, the two have had many
I heard like that in the past, that like Travis had a lot to do with Kanye's like 808 and Heartbeats, and he did a lot of writing on there.
ups and downs, with it currently looking like the two may be done forever. So here is why Travis Scott abandoned Kanye West.
Okay.
Before Travis ever met Ye, just like millions of other kids across the globe, he was someone he looked up to and wanted to be since he was a kid. But when Kanye came out, it was like, yo, that's producing. I was like, man, what the F?
Yo, what was your favorite Kanye song when it came out? What was the first song you heard? Mine was Spaceship, and I went crazy.
Now I got to learn to make beats. I started picking up beats like at 16. I got really serious at 17. That's when I put together tight beats. So it seemed like Ye inspired Travis to not only rap, but to also develop his producing skills. So first, let's bring it all the way back to 2011, where at this point in time, Travis was just a 19-year-old nobody in college. Now, even though he was making music and posting it online, it wasn't really getting any attention, and he knew he had to do something to get his name out there. Now, Travis, as I said, was a huge fan of Ye, which you can easily tell by just listening to his earlier music. He sounds like a clone. And when Travis was listening to Kanye, he always noticed this one producer that was on the credits, Anthony Kilhofer, the Grammy-winning genius behind songs such as Fellas in Paris, Click, and many more Ye hits. Now, back in the day, Anthony had his email simply listed online for anyone to find and contact him. So Travis searched up his email and started sending him music. Now, even though Anthony was getting thousands of emails every week, Travis stood out to him from the jump, simply from his Gmail profile picture, which at the time was a burning American flag. Now, even though he was listening to Travis's stuff, he wasn't really feeling it, and at first never gave him much attention. And it wouldn't really be towards the end of 2012, after Travis released his song Lovesick, that people started taking him seriously. Not only did this grab the attention of Atlanta rapper T.I., but it also allowed—
I kind of felt like I thought he was Kanye. And then I found out, no, that's Travis Scott. And then I started to listen out. And then on a couple of songs that he was on with Migos, I never could tell them apart.
allowed Kilhofer to see the potential in Travis and introduce him to Ye. When I was in this hotel, all of a sudden, I got a call like, yo, when can you come to New York? I was like, yeah, I'm homeless right now. This fella like, yo, Kanye wants to F with you. I was like, oh Next thing you know, I was on the next plane back to New York. I don't know how Kanye found out about me. I think it's just like people in his camp being like, man, you should F with this He didn't call me directly, someone else called me, like an engineer, with Travis of course meaning Anthony Kilhofer. So of course, Travis would instantly fly out to New York to meet his idol.
And then how did the Kanye connection happen?
The guy I used to work with, Anthony Kilhofer, he was like Kanye's engineer since like day one. I reached out to Kilhofer through email, just on some artists trying to get on. I flew out to LA one time for a meeting that only lasted 15 minutes. Like, it was just crazy. It was just like, but he came. So when I started popping up on blogs, I reached out to him again because I didn't know nobody I could trust out in LA. Yeah. So he was the only person I met face to face in LA that knew something about the business.
That's crazy. Kanye is the only one you know in LA.
That was that.
And that was that. But he played my music video. I dropped his music video. I directed and edited myself. And I'll never forget it. The text, he sent me a text like, oh man, yeah, watch this video. He just watched it twice. He never watches a video like all the way through. And then next day, he flew me out to New York. But when he flew me out to New York, I didn't meet the nigga for like 5 days, man.
The first time Travis met Ye, he was in disbelief that he was actually there in front of him. I mean, it must have been surreal. He went from this super fan who rapped and produced like him to now working with him.
That's crazy.
After he sat down and actually met, Ye offered him a Dorito Taco Bell from Taco Bell, which he accepted. However, little did Travis know it had sour cream in it, which he hated. So I opened it and that shit was loaded with sour cream. He's like, why aren't you eating it? All my fellas know that shit would make me throw up. But I ate the whole I wasn't going to be like, no, I'm not effing with this taco, man.
Yeah.
You put this on this nice plate, but I'm not about to eat it. That taco was so effing disgusting, but man, I wouldn't even notice it. Just playing him my music and just to see him nod his head even a little bit was just ill. The two would get on well though, and it was very clear Ye believed in Travis from the jump, as he would keep him around. Firstly, Travis would pitch in on the Good Music collab album Cruel Summer. I was around for the creation of all the Cruel Summer records. I have credits on it. To the World, In the Morning, and I did some programming on the Don't Like remix, with the project eventually dropping in the September of 2012, where Travis not only produced but also featured, as he would rap a verse on track 8, Sin City. Even though the two were talking and working almost every single day, Travis was still extremely nervous playing music to Ye. I was so nervous, like if I play something, will he like it? Should I rap in front of this fella? How can I rap in front of this fella? Like, I look up to this fella. Kanye knows what he's doing, man. This fella's a genius. Sitting next to him and making these decisions is like ill. Now, with him having some buzz around his name from his work with Ye, it was now time for Travis to launch his own career with the release of Our Pharaoh. After Love
never heard that.
Travis had signed to T.I.'s Grand Hustle Records, who he released the project through in the May of 2013, with features from his label Boss alongside Bon Iver, A$AP Ferg and Meek Mill. With him now also being very tied in with Ye's group, having the likes of Mike Dean and Rick Rubin help him on the project. Shortly after the release of the project, Ye was very sure of Travis's talents, which led to him signing Travis through a publishing deal to his Good Music label
I didn't know
as
that.
an in-house producer. From this point onwards, Travis was seen as Ye's protege and hip-hop's next big superstar. Not only could he produce, but he could also rap. Later in 2013, Travis would continue showing off his talents as he would produce on Ye's Yeezus on tracks New Slaves and Guilt Trip, with him also joining the Yeezus tour where he would open up a couple other shows. An incredible opportunity for him. And as time went on, the two would continue collaborating. Ye would feature on Travis Scott's 2015 debut album Radio on the track Pee on Your Grave. Both would then feature on the song Champion, Watch with Lil Uzi Vert, and Washers in Blood. And now moving into 2018, Ye and Travis would not only be seen in the studio and on tour together, but now in family settings, as Travis was dating Kylie Jenner, Ye's then sister-in-law through Kim Kardashian,
and that's how
who
they
had dated since 2012, which you need to know for later on. Then of course in that year, Travis would drop his hugely anticipated album Astro World, which took huge influence from Ye in terms of sound and creative direction, and he was even supposed to feature on the track Skeletons, with him recording his verse in the 2018 Wyoming sessions, however not making it on the final cut, as Pharrell and The Weeknd featured instead. But Ye was still listed as a writer on the song, as Travis had still used the reference track he recorded. And even though he didn't have any actual features or production credits, Ye's fingerprints were all over the album, with he himself even acknowledging the fact that Travis is a copycat.
No, I like the originators, man. Okay. You know, I don't mind, like, you know, the copycats too. And by the way, you just gotta say it like it is. You know what I'm saying? I say if somebody copy me, I'm like, you copy me. You know what I'm saying? I tell Trav, like, yo, you copy me, boy. You know, and it's like, but I love you, but just know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta be, no, but hey, man, it's our community, man.
Travis Scott or Kid Cudi?
Kid Cudi, because Travis is a mix of me, Cudi, and Rocky.
Anyways, so even though Ye didn't feature on Astro World, the two would still be working on music together, as Travis would not only feature on Donda, but also Donda 2, whilst also being spotted at the listening parties Ye hosted. A year after Donda 2, Travis would release his fourth studio album, Utopia, in 2023, where once again we would not see Ye feature or produce. However, it still sounded just like a Ye project. For example, Thank God features a reference track from prominent Ye writer Casey, which was originally planned to be used by Ye on Donda, and even featured on the tracklist under the title Thank God I Breathed. However, was given to Travis after Ye decided not to use it. Then Modern Jam with Tito Touchdown samples the I Am God beat from Yeezus that Travis originally produced with Daft Punk back in 2013. God's Country, a track Ye originally made for Donda but never made the final cut, which then Travis used and rapped over some of Ye's parts, using it as a reference track, with Ye never finishing his verse, which may have been what led to him being cut from the song completely. Circus Maximus, which sounds almost like an exact copy of Yeezus track Black Skinhead, with the song featuring production credits from Noah Goldstein, who produced on Black Skinhead, suggesting that they may have sampled the original drums directly from the song.
That's crazy.
And finally, Telekinesis, a heavily reworked version of the scrapped Kanye song Future Sounds, also known as Future Bounce, which
so he been stealing from him
for Donda, with this being the usual Travis re-recording Ye's parts and then completely removing him from the song. Overall, I think this just shows us how much Ye has helped Travis throughout his career, even though he may not be giving Travis Scott features or production credits directly. I mean, not like he needs them anymore anyways. And after Utopia officially released, Travis would then set off on his Circus Maximus tour, spanning 78 stops across 50 different continents, grossing approximately $210 million, making it the highest grossing solo rap tour in history, with Travis even bringing out Ye at some of his shows, most notably his performance in Rome, where he brought out Ye whilst telling the crowd there would be no Travis Scott without him.
There is no Travis Scott without Kanye West. There is no Rome without Kanye West.
Wow.
Make some noise for Ye!
Kanye was looking crazy back then.
In February of 2024, we would get the last collab between Travis Scott and Ye, F-Some from Vultures 1, alongside Ty Dolla $ign and Playboi Carti. But even though now we know it was their final collab, that was not what fans expected at the time, as throughout the year the two even teased a collaborative project together, as Travis would post a trailer featuring Ye, captioning it Ye and the Jack. However, this of course would never happen. And then moving into the next year, 2025, things would really only go downhill from here for the two. As in the February of 2025, out of nowhere, Travis would unfollow Ye on Instagram and Twitter.
Wow.
Well, out of nowhere, kind of. Because it honestly kind of made a lot of sense, especially with the stuff Ye was tweeting. And Ye would notice this and would respond. I love Trav, Virgil and Drake. Drake the realest one of those three though. He not fake cool, he's just talented AF. And yes, it's F Virgil and any of these other fellas that worked for me, then used me, then went against me. I love Virgil and he used that very love to beat. Nigerians are super smart. So basically here, Ye said he prefers Drake over Travis and that Travis used him and then went against him. Now at first, many were confused as just a couple of days prior, the two were seen together at the Grammys. But with Ye already spreading concerning messages over the past couple of years, many fans just wanted Travis to completely dissociate himself with Ye. As this was also part of his crazy Twitter spree where he of course, said some other things too. Now, Ye would then shortly after apologize to Trav, which honestly didn't mean much as he would then go on another Twitter spree where he would diss him again. As in another of his rants in the March of 2025, Ye would say that Travis, alongside a handful of other people in the industry such as Virgil Abloh, Playboi Carti and Ty Dolla $ign, turned on him, which really wraps up the story of Travis Scott and Ye. An incredible partnership, a hip-hop legend took a homeless nobody and turned him into a superstar, and really ended up in probably the worst way possible. Ye is having his mental breakdowns on Twitter, causing everyone to distance themselves from him, even his once protege, Travis Scott. Now, I don't think Travis Scott actually turned his back on him or abandoned him. I think it's more so of he just doesn't want to affiliate himself with him publicly, as Ye is on some crazy stuff right now.
Yeah, he's saying whatever he want to say.
This video, but you get the point. Maybe if Ye chills out and goes back to normal in the next couple of years, we'll see him back working with everyone as usual. Anyways, hope you guys.
Alright, man. So that's why Travis Scott abandoned Kanye. I never knew a lot of this history on them, but at least we learned it, man. I'm still a Kanye fan. I don't care whatever Kanye say. He can say whatever he want to say. I'm a Travis Scott fan, but I just can't name, 10 songs from Travis Scott that really just I can remember. But he definitely got a lot of good songs. Y'all let me know what y'all feel. Make sure y'all subscribe at the top bell. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.